Good day, everybody. My name is Amanda Ace, and it is Thursday, the 22nd of May. We are very excited to have everybody on this call today on this presentation. Alex, thank you so much for presenting with me today, and we're excited to have Beverly all the way from Panama, and Alistair, Trish on here, and Hetty as well. So we are very grateful to have everybody, and I believe this is going to be life-changing to whoever listens to this recording. So I'm just going to quickly tell you about my story. Then I'm going to ask Alex to tell her story quickly, and then I'll go over how we're going to do it. I'm going to discuss and tell you more about the products, our wonderful patches. Then we're going to have a time of some testimonies, and then Alex will tell us more about the company and the business opportunity. And I just want to mention right from the start that none of us here are professional speakers, and none of us work for LifeWave. We are just people who really are excited about this product and what it's done for us, and we just want to share it with other people, and hopefully their lives will change the way our lives was changed as well. Great. So I'm going to start quickly with my story. So I live in the Garden Route in South Africa, and about a year, January last year, I heard about patches, and I thought it was a lot of nonsense because it didn't make sense. Little patches, who would get interested in patching people with pain? I wasn't aware of how many people were actually in pain. And I looked at it, but I didn't really look at it, didn't really believe in it, just didn't make sense. But then March last year, I went on a boat trip, and on this boat trip, I came back with a gift called COVID, and I was very, very sick. And after 4 weeks, I could still not get out of my bed. I could not work. I could not do anything. If I put makeup on, I was out of breath. And after 4 weeks, I said to my husband, just come and walk with me. The four walls were, killing me inside. And just come and walk with me so that I can just get out of the house. After 150 meters, my heart wanted to jump out of my chest, and I was out of breath. And that was a scary place to be. If you're an entrepreneur, you have to earn your own income. You can't even walk 150 meters. But then my sister had already used the patches, got fantastic results. And she sent me some patches. I put the first patch on the back of my neck, fell asleep. And 2 hours later, when I woke up, I had no more symptoms of COVID whatsoever. I didn't believe it. I thought it was just a good sleep. But 2 days later, I went walking again with my dog in the mountains, walked 1.5 kilos, no problem whatsoever. And 4 days later, when I looked on my sport watch, I had already walked 9,000 steps. And since then, my life changed. I patched many, many people and got great results on that. But my own results, I kept on using it because I understood that this is not a one patch wonder. It's not a quick fix kind of product. And since then, my skin improved, my sleep improved, my heels are soft for the first time in my life, and my blood tests even shows that my kidney functions have improved. I've got so many more stories to tell you, but I'm going to stop now because once I start, I can't stop. And I'm going to give it over to Alex and ask her to tell us what happened with her because she, like me, was also not convinced in the beginning. So, Alex, please tell them your story. Thank you very much.
Hi, everybody. I'm Alex, and I live in Howick in KZN. It took me 8 months to get involved with LifeWave because I didn't believe it was real or true. It just sounded like nonsense. So I got involved because a friend's brother had dementia, and conventional medicine has nothing to offer those people anyway. So I said I had heard about this and I would investigate it, and that's where I started. So I spent a lot of time looking at the company, at videos, at clinical trials, at a whole lot of things to convince myself that the technology was real. And then a lot of time looking at the company because I'm not a big network marketer. So that for me was a really important component of the whole thing. And I had had polymyalgia, which is an disease of inflammation or an illness of inflammation, which is autoimmune. And it's just based really, I think, on stress in terms of its etiology or where it begins. And I had all these inflamed muscles, a stiff neck, stiff shoulders, stiff behind my knees, stiff hips, aggravated by exercise, aggravated by stress. And I'd managed it with medication for 20 years. So suddenly when I understood that the patch did what it said it would do from a clinical point of view and that had been proven, I had to make a choice to either give up the technology, which looked absolutely phenomenal and hard to understand because it sounds like science fiction. Not hard to understand, hard to acknowledge that it exists and is real. So once I had proved that it was real, I then could either not do it because of the MLM, or I could do it because I needed the healing. And so then it just became a really simple choice. So I took X39 for 10 months before I became pain-free from polymyalgia. In that time, I had improvements every single day. Some days, no improvements at all. Some days I felt really sick and really lousy and really tired. And that now 2 years later is an ongoing process. Is every day absolutely fabulous? No. But significantly more of them are. And the polymyalgia pain is gone. But I do have a body that is orientated to inflammation. So it's the way my first way my body responds to anything that is stressful. And here I am. And I will continue to take them because stem cells heal. Full stop. So if we understand the concept of that and understand that it isn't going to happen overnight for most of us, it's just something you have to, well, I chose to do. And I'm enormously grateful that I did. So that's my story.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Alex. So let's see what this is about. I'm going to start the screen sharing quickly. And the sound, let's get that part going. Right, not sure if that worked now, so just give me a moment. There we go. Right, let us see what this is all about. Just confirm for me if you can hear the sound.
Light, an ancient form of energy that goes back to the dawn of time. For us, it all begins with the sun, the source of light and life for our entire solar system. Even Einstein concluded that everything we're made of contains light. All life originates with the sun through photosynthesis. Plants and vegetation collect the light, and all living creatures emit light. Humans actually emit infrared light, which can be seen with night vision devices. We've known for centuries that light has many effects on the body. LifeWave's phototherapy patches use light that can promote a general state of health and healthy activity unique to each LifeWave patch. Here's how the technology works. First, a patch is applied to specific points on the body. Where the patch covers the skin, infrared energy emitted from the body is reflected back into the body and then taps into the body's own natural flow of energy. LifeWave phototherapy patches promote an environment that enables the body to optimize its restorative energy and enhances your ability to live well without the use of harmful drugs or chemicals. To find out more, contact your distributor. LifeWave. Live long, live well.
Okay, so sometimes we think now we can stop because that actually explains it so nicely. But I'm going to ask, have you been patched yet? So these patches will elevate, activate, and regenerate your body. And let's see what those big words mean. So I just want to first mention a disclaimer here. Your body is unique and your results may differ. So LifeWave is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition. But let's first start by talking about David Schmidt. He is the inventor, the CEO of this company, LifeWave. He's already got over 200 patents. That's amazing. He's a scientist and an inventor, and he specializes in age reversing. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But in 2008, David started focusing his attention on stem cell research, and his recent patent, the X39, took 10 years and $4.5 million to bring to market. So the patent, if you don't know, a patent works like this. You have to prove everything that you want to patent. So you cannot just go and say, I've got to take out a patent for a glass of water or something like that. You've got to prove that whatever you are patenting has got certain things that's going to happen, and you've got to prove that it can happen. Now, there's a lot of things that this patent says, things like reduction in inflammation, improvement in energy, management of pain, improvement in stamina, lots of things like that. And you can see the details of this on this website, www.thisisitinfo.com. All the details are there. But what's important with a patent as well is a patent is taken out for 20 years. Now, we still have at least 15 years left on this patent. So you'll see later on why that is so important. So this company has already existed for 20 plus years, and you can see there are many different patches there. But we are going to talk today about X39 because this is the flagship of LifeWave. It came on the market about 5-6 years ago, and since then it revolutionized everything. So that's what we are going to talk about today. So why are stem cells important? Let's talk about that. Stem cells are able to make more cells like themselves. They self-renew. So stem cells are like when a baby is conceived, that first little cell is a stem cell. And you know that one cell becomes an arm and an eye and an ear. Your whole body comes from that one stem cell. Now, that is how the stem cells in your body work. They will make more cells like themselves, and they can become other cells that do different things in a process known as differentiation. And stem cells are needed for the maintenance of tissue as well as repair after injury. But why X39 stem cell activation patches? Why are we talking about that? So how it works, we all have millions of stem cells, but the fewer stem cells you have, the faster you will age and the slower you will heal. So millions of people are experiencing symptoms of aging. The problem is by the age of 30, only half of your stem cells are still active. This was quite a shock for me. I didn't even know what stem cells were, but realizing that by the age of 30, you're almost old already. And by the age of 60, you've lost almost all your stem cell activity. That was quite scary. So how does X39 work? It's a proprietary form of phototherapy, light therapy. What that means, just to explain it, for me, it makes it easier to understand. It's like when you go out in the sun and the sunlight falls on your skin at a certain wavelength, your body will start creating more vitamin D. So there's no vitamin D in the sunlight itself, but the wavelengths falling on your body creates the vitamin D in your body. So this is the same, this is phototherapy, okay? So it works with patented nanocrystal technology, big words, but it means little crystals, small little crystals that's in the little patch. And it uses light to activate these crystals. So it uses your body's own infrared light to activate a process in your body. It's non-transdermal, it's non-invasive, it means nothing goes into your skin. It's just light that falls onto your skin. There's no drugs, no chemicals, no stimulants in these patches. So what are the benefits of X39? Well, these are things that you're going to get, and you can see it on the website, more proof of that. X39 will give you increased strength, reduced inflammation, increased stamina, more energy and vitality, mental clarity, restored muscle and skeletal conditions, improvement of sleep, improved skin appearance. Almost all of us can testify to most of these things. So you're going to achieve optimal health, a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being. So what is the long-term effects that you can expect from X39? As I said, you can see it from the case studies on that website. Within the first few days, 4,000 of your genes begin to reset. Within 6 weeks, your brain becomes balanced. A lot of people, most people, start testifying about brain fog, about just having more clarity of their thoughts. All right, within 3 months, you can expect your collagen to increase. That's why people testify about the skin. That's so amazing. And collagen is not only needed for looking pretty. Collagen is like the glue inside your body. It's needed for everything in your body. And within 6 months, your heart reverses in age. Guys, and this is why David Schmidt said, it's not anti-aging. It doesn't stop you from getting older. It reverses your age. You actually become younger. Who doesn't want that? So look at this. This is very exciting. This is a topography map that was taken in one of the studies. This is a 77-year-old woman. And you can see in the first picture, she was not on X39 by then, and you can see the red and the yellow and the orange, which shows the inflammation in the brain. She had a lack of brain coherence. Then they put the X39 in the back of her neck, and you can see by session 2, which was 3 weeks later, how there's no more red and orange and there, a little bit of yellow left, but no more inflammation, improved brain coherence, and by session 3, 6 weeks on X39, complete turnaround, better brain coherence, and it was noted that her brain remained calm after wearing the patch for 6 weeks. Here's just another picture. I'm just going to quickly run through that, and you can see inflammation in this person's body and also with the hands, and that how that reduces. I can actually show this to us in pictures. That's amazing. And this is what we always like to show. People report hair growth. My own husband has got amazing hair growth. And we even have people with gray hair and their hair grows back dark. So this is fantastic. And this is just a picture of some of the athletes that we've seen using the patches. If you wake up and you have seen the previous Olympics, you would have seen many of the Olympic athletes using it, because there's nothing going into the skin, into your body. It's no drugs, no chemicals. It's safe for everybody to use. Oh, and I want to go back to that picture. What I love about this is that LifeWave doesn't sponsor any athletes. Any athlete that uses these patches uses it on their own. They want to use it. They're not being paid for that, because they use it because they get the results. So how are you going to wear your X39? You can see the picture. These were places on behind the neck and under the belly button is where the clinical trials were done on. And so that's where you're going to place your patch most probably. And you're going to wear your patch for 12 hours on and 12 hours off. You're going to take it off after 12 hours to give your body a chance to repair and rejuvenate. You don't want it to be stimulated for 24 hours non-stop, because then it's not going to work as well anymore. So 12 hours on, 12 hours off. Then you're going to throw the patch away. You put a new patch on and you repeat. So when you start, you buy a sleeve. It's like an envelope and it's got 30 patches in there. And you can wear more than one patch at a time, but there's not much value in using more than one X39, but you can use your X39 with our secondary patches, which you saw there in the beginning, which will help with things like inflammation, with pain, hormones, things like that. But the person who invited you here will explain in more detail all the different patches that's available. But just know X39 is the number one. It's the flagship. If you only have one patch, it's the X39. That's the one that you want. And then you're going to drink plenty of water and electrolytes, but because that will help your patches to work even better. So David Schmidt advises us to use a 90-day protocol to use the patches for the optimum results. We know that it doesn't usually take 90 days. We get results much quicker, but that is the protocol that he suggests. And then he also suggests for every decade of your life, you would wear it for another month just to get better results. As Alex has told you, Alex, after 10 months, she got really great results. And I think we can all testify. The longer you use it, the better it gets. I think Beverly was telling us just before that. Now I'll ask you, Nana, when we do the testimonies, Beverly, maybe you can just elaborate on that. Okay, so the most common reason for lack of response to the patches is dehydration. That is just very important for everybody, to hydrate and drink your electrolytes. So on this website, please take a picture, write it down, www.thisisitinfo.com. You can get lots and lots of information about the patches, how it works, interviews with doctors, interview with David Schmidt, who invented these patches. There are testimonies, there's the clinical trials, everything that you want to know, you can find on this website. So X39 is very sophisticated, but it's so simple to explain. Even a child can do it. All you do is you put the patch in the back of your neck for 12 hours, drink water, and that's as easy as that. Water and electrolytes, it's so simple. And the testimonies of X39 are life-changing and emotional. And the best thing of this is that it actually works. So we are going to go back to what to me is the highlight of the presentations always. And I'm going to ask people to please share your testimony with us and tell the people who hasn't heard about this what X39 has done for you, how your life has changed. Beverly, I'd love for you to please tell us.
Oh, good morning to all here in Panama. I am just so grateful and amazed that someone thought highly of me to help me with the problem that I was having in my knees. I'm 75 years old, and at the age of 73, my knees started to give out. It got twisted. So many awful things started to happen, and I kept falling and I kept falling. Someone sent me the X39 and the other patch, the ion, for information. I just cannot live without them. I really cannot live without them, because I see why David Schmidt says for every decade that you have been alive, it's 1 month. And at 70, 75, heading for 80, I have found myself, if I go without it for 3 days, I start to go back. And who wants to go back? Just like Alex says, you go through some days, yes, because the body is getting itself better. And my gratitude for having X39 is I have now formed a group of elderly ladies, and we have started to dance again. Thank you, Amanda, for this opportunity to say how grateful my heart feels to help other people with what is so simple. No pills, X39, and the other ones that you will need, because if you do not understand that you have been doing some things to your body that we were not supposed to do, but we did it, you have got to understand, you've got to give it time. And if you stop drinking the water with the electrolytes and the mineral salt, you will be sorry. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Beverly. You know, I was just thinking of, if as you get older, you drink a little pill for your knees, and then you drink a pill for your heart, and then you drink a pill for your high blood pressure. Whereas with this, it's one patch, but it can do lots of different things. It doesn't just attach itself to one problem. It's really amazing. I want to go dancing at 75. I think that's a great inspiration. Thank you so much, Beverly. Thank you. Okay, who else is going to unmute and tell us what X39 has done for you? Yes, please, Alistair.
Well, when I was a kid, I got injured in rugby, and I've never been able to touch further than my knees when I bend down. And I've now been on X39 for 8 months. I can now touch my toes. I'm not saying that I'm going to keep my legs straight, but I can actually get down to do my own shoelaces these days, which is wonderful. The other nice thing is that I used to sleep in the afternoons, and I've now got the energy that I don't need to sleep anymore in the afternoons. And my doctor has taken me off of my statins, which is a horrible chemical drug. So I'm very happy to be off of those as well.
Oh, wow. Wow. It's the first time that I hear this story about, not being able to touch further than your knees for your whole life. We think when you get past a certain age, things can't change anymore. But this is what we see with LifeWave. I always stand so amazed at, you start using it for your shoulder that's painful. That's what you want to happen. And then suddenly something else happened. The last thing that I thought is that my heels will become soft. It's not, I've tried my whole life through, it never worked. It's not, I wouldn't be patching for heels, but it's just a great thing. Like Alex, she didn't mention this now, but she started for the pain. But guys, if you saw her before and after pictures of her skin, of her hair, she didn't start patching for that, but that's just like bonuses that we all get. So that's really awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you, Alistair, for sharing that. Anybody else who would like to share still? Sandra, can I put you on the spot? You'll be the last person then.
Hi.
Hi, Sandra.
Thanks, Amanda. I think the greatest thing for me is just the improvement in strength and stamina and the quality of sleep. I can't explain to people the deep sleep that you have once you start patching. And when you wake up, you alert and ready to go. So yeah, that's it.
Fantastic. Can I please ask you to share about your legs? Because I just think that is so amazing, because that's also not something that you expected. I just love that story.
Yeah. I've got very, very dry skin, and after 2 weeks of patching, that had completely reversed. I am going through some retracing at the moment, so I know that it's not as bad as what it was, but I know there is some inner healing happening, which is exciting. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, now I'm excited to give this over to Alex to explain to us more about the company, why she believed, she did all the research, why she believed in the company, and how she got past the negativity about multi-level network marketing and how she feels about that now. So Alex, I'm going to give it over to you. I just want to start the screen sharing again. Thank you very much. If everybody
Okay,
can
thanks.
then just unmute themselves again, please. I'd appreciate that. Great, you can go for it, Alex. Let me just get the next page. There you go.
Okay. So I'm pleased to have an opportunity to talk about the business because I so seldom do. I always seem to get pigeonholed in the product slot, and I'm really happy to be there. But it's wonderful for me to have an opportunity to talk about the business. So if you look at this slide, all those words mean something different to every single one of you. What would you like freedom from? Is it important to make yourself independent of your family, or is it important for you to spoil your family? What is the dynamic around time? Do you have too much? Do you have too little? Do you wish to be able to do other things with it if you had the financial freedom? Security in South Africa, that's a real thing. Do we want money to put in JoJo tanks and solar panels and fences, or do we want the security of the money in our bank accounts? Travel. Even that in South Africa is a big deal because we have to get a visa to go to Botblas. So, or less debt. And what is, what everybody's perception of enough or debt is varies hugely because all our life circumstances are different. So just think about what for you would be emancipating and give you a different quality of life. Thank you. So look at the slide, guys. So when I investigated it, a 20-year-old company, finding MLMs in the world that are 20 years old is a rare task. They don't hang around that long because of the nature of MLMs. Some do, for sure. We're open now in over 80 countries. It's a whole lot of the world. It's not a Me Too product. So many companies are based on things like weight loss skincare supplements, and everybody has one. So you have to differentiate yourself on a whole lot of other different levels. We have a unique product. Nobody has this. Think about those words. Nobody has this. This is completely unique. It's a marketer's dream. And even if you're not a marketing person, it's an incredible opportunity. In 2021, the company was turning over 20 million, and then you can see how it increased incrementally until 2024. 600 million. That gives huge integrity to the product and to the science, because trust me, there are not that many stupid people in the world. If this was something that didn't work, we wouldn't have those kind of numbers. So LifeWave's now ranked the One Momentum company for the second year in terms of growth, because we are breaking every single record that has ever existed in terms of the speed of growth. Why? It's a unique product, and also because of the way in which this is done. The backup from the company, the team that we all happen to be part of, which is this is a team, which has really put a huge amount of energy and time into making this as easy and accessible for all of us as possible. And look at the growth, everybody, 3,000% growth from 2018 to 2024. If you understand anything about business, to sustain a growth like that and never run out of product, never have any issues from a manufacturing point of view or supply point of view, never have any issues opposite anything. Our money gets paid weekly, every single week. There's never, ever been, in the 2 years that I've been involved with LifeWave, a single glitch about anything. And if there is, it's resolved really, really quickly. So look at 3,000% growth. LifeWave was honored in 23 and 24, as I've just said, by Direct Selling News for the Bravo Award. And then, I love this slide. David Schmidt, who's got a BSc and isn't a medical doctor, but has been given an honorary doctorate because he is the holder of 200 plus patents. Guys, that's 200 unique, new, never thought of by any other human being on the planet ideas that he's managed to get scientific substantiation for. That's absolutely amazing. So now that you're interested, what now? You can either be a customer, which means you get the product at retail and you pay $149 for a sleeve of X39. I'm not sure why anybody would do that, but maybe some would. Preferred customer, that is somebody who's not interested in doing the business but wants the product, and you simply get the product delivered to your door once a month, and in order to get it at the wholesale price, you tick a box that says this is an auto ship, and once a month they will dispatch an X39 to you. Then you get to the brand partner part of this discussion. And the brand partner part of this discussion is the interesting part, because that gives you an option to be part of the business, whether you choose to or not, but who knows? If this changed your life to 360 degrees, you may want to tell everybody, and then you already have a foothold in the business. Secondly, it gives you access to volume discounts in terms of how you purchase product and to specials that come through the business. So there are 3 places to get involved. There's actually a 4th, but we'll show you now. So $295 would give you 3 sleeves of X39. And the big buzzword for this is you come in where you fit in. So for some people, I'm one person, 3 sleeves of X39 is a lot of X39. That's 3 months worth. If you're in a family, 3 sleeves could potentially go nowhere. So then 535 would be a better option. And if you're a business owner, so a pharmacy or a chiropractor or a physio or somebody who's going to use them therapeutically in a practice, the most economical way to come in is on premium, because your cost per sleeve is significantly reduced. So there are the options. The only other option that we didn't mention was starter. I love this slide because it makes it so simple, guys, to see where you would need to come in. And starter enrollment is for somebody who may want to be involved in the business, has limited funds, but they would like what they're purchasing to contribute to accumulating funds in their business or points in their business. And so that has a starter fee of $25, which if you upgrade at any point, you recover. So that's the only place in the business where there is a starter fee. So there are your, it's okay. So there are your options. Retail. And this is how we earn money. We earn money from retail. We earn money from introduction bonuses. So if you introduce somebody to the business opportunity, you get a once-off payment for bringing them to this business. We earn money from cycle bonuses. I'll explain all of that now. We earn money from matching bonuses, and then there are trips and rewards. So we get paid weekly in US dollars. And as I said before, we've never missed a week. So how does our compensation plan work? It's simple. It's a binary. You grow 2 teams, one on the left and one on the right. And essentially, in theory, you need to know 4 people who really want to do this business and really want the product, and you're binary qualified. So all of us know 4 people. Most of us know a whole lot more than 4 people. So it's not an overwhelming task. And the team commissions from the binary, you need 330 on one side in terms of a volume and 660 on the other side, and you earn $50. So the system pays you for working underneath and for volume accumulated on either of your legs, not only by you, but by all the other people too. So this is a team. You've seen the first website. On the right-hand side, this is a team, is like your franchise manual that's virtual. And it's got everything on there. I have to confess that I didn't go there for a very long time. But if you do go there, there's some startling information there. And it's really very well demonstrated and put. And it's worth watching. If you had to buy a franchise or be involved in any other business, you would have to go for some training. So to not train yourself when the training facility is available doesn't really make any sense. It's a fantastic training facility. So David Schmidt says you have an incredible opportunity before you today, the opportunity to bring healing power of light to everybody around you. By the way, that really is a sentence that encompasses the man's ethos. Okay, for any of you who have watched anything ever done by him, there's no trace of ego. There is just a desperate and burning desire to do whatever he can to change the world for the better. He really is quite an extraordinary man. So now's the time to make your move. I think really, from a business point of view and from a health point of view, we can become hope brokers. Hope that things can get better, financially and health-wise. Because this is a route, and it serves everybody. Everybody with a beating heart, in my opinion, should be patched, whether that's to get well or stay well. So there's hope. Go back to the person who invited you. They will fill you in with more detail about this opportunity and tell you and help you understand where it comes from. The opportunity is huge, guys, and everybody benefits. Everybody.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Alex. I can hear your excitement about the business opportunity, and I know exactly what you were saying is the hope. My life changed, and as Alex was saying, maybe I didn't think I was going to do the business really, but I was intrigued by what was possible, but I didn't have money. So I started on the enrollment start at the $25 basically once a year, and I bought one sleeve of X39, and that changed my life. I couldn't start on the bigger ones. And this is what I love, the hope that it is available for anybody who wants to change their life or the lives of other people. Anybody can do it if you really want to do it. And I love what Alex said about the team as well. You know, it's so amazing. We have people right across the world that's on this call. We are people from different teams that's on the same call because we all just want to make a difference. And I love that. So thank you, Alex. You did a great job in doing the presentation of the business. Thank you to everybody who shared their testimony. Your story is going to go out to other people because this recording will go out to other people. And what you shared will change lives. So thank you so much. I'm going to stop the recording now, and then we're going to have a few minutes of questions and answers. Anybody wants to say anything, we can do it as soon as I stop the recording. So thank you, everybody.